Hello and welcome to day 1 of the Uppercase Bootcamp, a 7-day challenge for practicing the Copperplate uppercase basic strokes. I'm Sharice of Piecescalligraphy, and I'm so excited to host this bootcamp with my amazing friend Nina Tran. And for each day of the bootcamp, you'll find a new video here on YouTube where I'll take you through the goals of that day and demonstrate how to complete that practice. If you are new to the challenge or want to learn more, just head over to my website for all the details. There's a link below in the description box. Most importantly, you'll want to download and print the guide sheets for the bootcamp. So let's go ahead and go to day 1 and get started. Now for the candy cane drill, we're going to be practicing the capital stem, also called the line of universal beauty, and we're going to be practicing the hairline upstroke. So I'm going to go over these 2 strokes and then show you how to put them together to do the candy cane drills. And as we go through these drills throughout the boot camp, I want you to understand that, as with anything, especially when it comes to calligraphy, the goal is never perfection. It's not the destination. It's not conquering everything just from one boot camp. The goal instead is to make progress. No matter how small, no matter how big. Maybe you don't feel the progress today. Maybe you don't see the progress until you look back at your work. You want to master the pen. Conquer it. Feel confident in putting that pressure and releasing that pressure. Really being confident in all of your strokes. And then learning. Learn as much as you can. Soak it all in. Whether you're a beginner and this is all new to you and you just learn one thing from this whole boot camp, that is a success. Whether you are a more experienced calligrapher and you took away just one gold nugget from me, from this community, then that's amazing too. It doesn't matter how big or small the lesson is, just know there's always something to learn. Okay, so let's do the capital stem. So I'm going to label first my X height here, and then we're going to treat this line as my baseline. We're going to treat this line as my header or my waistline. And then here is my first ascender, and this is my second ascender. For all of these drills in the boot camp, you're going to be sticking to these 3 areas on your guide sheets. And I'm using this just for practice. We'll hop over to the guide sheet in a second. Okay, so to create the capital stem, you're going to start with a curve on the second ascender. You're going to add pressure on the slant line, and then you're going to finish with a curve on the baseline. Okay. And the thing about this stroke is it really consists of this curve, straight line, and another curve. Let's keep things really simple here. There's a lot to be said about this stroke, especially its importance in creating all of the uppercase letters that it does, but I want to just break things down for you so that it's in bite-sized chunks. Okay, so let's break this down. So for starters, we have our shade. Okay, anytime we put pressure and we have this thicker part of the stroke, that's our shade. And this shade from about this area to here, if you really isolate it, you'll see that that is pretty much a straight line. And that straight line falls along our slant. Okay, do you see that? So if I were to skewer this shade with a hot dog stick, okay, here's my slant, and it's parallel to that slant. And then the part that comes off, this curve here and this curve here, let me use another color. It forms this little triangle. See this? And then this area here forms a triangle. And these 2 triangles should be parallel with each other. I'm sorry, not parallel. These 2 triangles should be similar, just the reverse of each other. Okay, so when we really break that down, the goal isn't to have these perfect strokes, but just to break it up into that first curve, that straight line that's on the slant, and then the next curve. Okay. Now this should be a gradual. This should be a gradual transition. Okay. What you don't want to do is go too fast into the shade or too late into the shade. Okay, so in these two examples, okay, we don't want to do these two because look at where the shade falls. Okay, and then here, this is the shade. It's too low here, it's too high. We don't want top heavy or bottom heavy strokes. We also don't want to have too much of we don't want too much of an angle where there's no curve. Okay, so it's a little bit of an exaggeration. It's kind of hard for me to demo these, but I wanted you to this is just a really good reminder that it's a smooth and gradual entrance onto the slant line. Okay. And last but not least, we don't want the whole thing to be heavy. Okay, because then if we don't have a smooth transition, Copperplate is about embracing that elegant hairline. Okay, so like the whole thing is pretty much heavy. Copperplate is about embracing that elegant hairline and those transitions into our shades. We don't want it to be too heavy. Okay, that's our capital stem. The next stroke, so let's set up our X height here. Okay, then we're going to label, we'll just do shorthand. This is my baseline. This is my header, first ascender and second ascender. Okay, for this next one, this is a hairline the entire way, but it's a little bit off of the slant. Just like that. So what I did was, let me go back here with this capital stem. We went downward. Use another. And then with this hairline upstroke, we're going up from the baseline. We're going off of the slant line. So if you notice, if I were to isolate my slant line here, it's on this line, but the stroke crosses it. It doesn't stay on there. So that's what I mean by this stroke is off of the slant line. Okay. Oh, sorry, pens are flying around. So when we create this stroke, you don't necessarily want to be on the slant line. It makes it too steep. Okay, so you don't want this. We also don't want to push off and get some thickness in our stroke. Okay, so with this stroke here, I kind of pushed on my tip. You want it to glide. You want it to maintain that hairline the entire way. And also you don't want it to be too angled. Okay, so I don't have much of a smooth curve. So you want to make sure you keep that curve, okay? Now let's go into the drill. Now for the drill, I'm going to grab my short version of the guide sheets. And remember, the link to download these is below in the description box. So I'm going to kind of keep this as my running example for you. Okay, so it's going to be fun to fill this over the next few days. So let's go ahead and do the candy canes. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our capital stem. So you know by now what the guidelines are, and I can just go right into the drill. Okay. Don't worry about being shaky. Don't worry about perfection. Remember, this is just about learning, embracing mistakes, and improving. Also, don't just keep doing this drill mindlessly and not looking back. Like I would recommend every few strokes. So for example, after I did this row here, I might want to stop and take a look at it and analyze it. Something I can tell you already is I noticed that this stroke is kind of getting off of the slant line. So we want to bring that back if I were to skewer this stroke, it's kind of coming down here. You want to pay attention to the distances between the shades. So here's this shade, here's my next one. This shade, here's my next one. Okay, because that also translates into the distances that I ended each stroke with, the distances that I started my strokes. This is all just related to that consistency. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to make sure you pick up your pen after each stroke. And don't be afraid to start over. Don't be afraid to embrace the mistakes and then try to fix them on the next go. It is a constant journey, just practicing. So now when I do my shade, I'm keeping a better eye on the slant line so I can make sure I stay on there. Okay. So even though this is a boot camp for uppercase letters, in general, this follows a lot of the teachings that I share, that a lot of others share, other calligraphy teachers, on just embracing the way that the pen works, making sure that your shades are on that slant line, being consistent, all of that good stuff. So just keep in mind that this is all working toward that greater goal. But of course, the main focus of this is to prepare us for those capital letters, the uppercase letters, that I'm excited to jump into next after this boot camp. Okay, so that is the candy cane drill. You can kind of see how, in a way, if this was a piece of peppermint, it would look like a candy cane. I don't know, maybe we can add some red here. Maybe I can get a red brush pen and create this with a red brush pen to really look like a candy cane. So I'd love to know what you think about this drill. Did you do the drill? How did it work out for you? Feel free to leave me some comments down below with some questions you may have or concerns. I'd love to hear from you. And if you are on Instagram, be sure to tag me and Nina. I know I have a lot going on here, but let's try to focus. I'd love for you to tag us. You can also include the hashtags Copperplate Bootcamp, Copperplate_Bootcamp, Piecescalligraphy_Bootcamp, and Nina. She has AnnandTran_Bootcamp. I know it sounds like a lot, but this is just kind of a fun way to encourage community and for us to check out your work, just to see who's tuning in, who's joining in with us. And I'd love to just hear from you. So thanks for watching this video. I will see you tomorrow for day 2. And if you need to catch up, go ahead and click the links down below for day 0 and for my informational video. But as always, everything is at that link below to my website. So I know there's a lot of places I just pointed you to, but hopefully you're tracking with me, and I can't wait to catch up with you next time. Bye.